Alright, so welcome to part 4 and the final part of my little golden book junk journal tutorial slash make a little golden book with me. This is the last part. Finally, we did it. This part's probably, I don't want to say it's the easiest, but it's pretty simple. It should be not as long. I don't know. Maybe it'll be long. We'll just see how it goes. Anyways, in the part 1 we made this cover. Part 2 we made our signatures, and then part 3 we decorated all of our signatures and did all this fun sewing and, you know, put this lace on, added some tabs, all that fun stuff. So if you haven't seen those, go ahead and check those out. They should be in this playlist. And if you haven't seen any of my videos before, I'm just gonna say I'm really new to the whole video making thing, so bear with me. But here we go, on to part 4, and we're going to be binding this together. And when I make little golden book junk journals, I like to put buttons on the spine, so I'll be showing you how to do that. And then I think the only other thing that needs to be done is adding little charms. So we'll probably do that in this video too. And then it'll be done. So first thing we need to do is get our binding kit out. And you're going to need a template. So I already have one because I've made a bunch of these, but we'll make one together in case you don't know how. And then I have my needle in here. And you'll need an awl or just something pointy, and some twine, which this is wax linen thread, but when I make these golden books I usually use embroidery thread, so I'll have to go get mine because I forgot to grab that, but I'll grab that in a second. And I just like to go with something that kind of matches, so I'll probably pick purple for this one. But we'll do that in a second. Let's make a template first. So what you're going to want is a template that fits perfectly into the spine that we've made. It doesn't have to be exactly as tall because you'll remember that it needs to be as tall as your signatures, not as tall as your spine, because you want your signatures to not quite be as tall as the book itself, if that makes sense. So you want a template to be however tall your signatures are. So in this case, if you followed along with me, they should be about 7 3/4 inches. This is just a little bit over that, so that's fine. So let's do that. We'll mark this at 7 3/4 inch. Maybe like one longer. Couldn't hurt. And then we'll cut it. And then for the width, you want it to be the same width as the spine, maybe a little bit less. So these spines are all 2 inches, I believe. 2 inches, so yep, right at 2 inches. There we go. So we'll go ahead and cut that. Oh, and as for this is just like a punch card, because I have a bunch of these and I like using them for templates because they're nice and sturdy. But you can use like a manila folder or just a plain piece of paper if you want. I reuse mine, so I prefer them to be on like cardstock. But if you don't have, that's fine. So there we go. That's how you make the template. It should fit right in here perfectly when you close it. Shouldn't be hanging off of any of the sides or anything like that. And then what you're going to want to do, let me sit down for this, I hope I'm in frame. We have 3 signatures, right? So this might be different for you depending on how many signatures that you have. And there's also, so we're going to do the 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and if you want to, you can do a 5-hole pamphlet stitch, but you'll have to look at a different video for that because that's not how I do it. So I just fold it in half. Okay. And then mark maybe like, let's see, an inch down. It doesn't really matter, but somewhere around here. Then we're just going to fold that too while it's folded in half. Unfold, and then you'll have your 3 lines, and that's where our holes will go. So if you want, you can draw those out. Just so they're easier to see. There we go. And then I usually fold it in half the other way. That'll give you your center. And then it's kind of up to you on the spacing. I played around with this and I don't actually remember how. These are 1/2 inch apart. So we do a line down the center. You don't have to even draw the lines. It's the dots that we're going to make that's important, but I want you to be able to see what I'm doing here. So okay, so there's our center, and then from there we're going to mark 1/2 inch. Well, let's put it like this, then we can do both sides at once. 1/2 inch on this side, 1/2 inch on this side, and then we'll do the same on the bottom line. Then we'll just simply connect these dots. These look different for some reason. I did something wrong. Let's see. I guess these are just a little bit more than 1/2 inch. There. I don't know how to read these. Whatever. You can space them as far, or as not far apart as you want. I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about. And then all you need to do is mark where these lines intersect. Like this. And then what you're also going to want to do is mark which one's the top. Because once you start punching holes, if one of these lines is just a little bit off and you put it upside down, then they're not going to match your holes. So that's how you make a template. I'm going to use this template I already made because obviously I did something wrong on this one, but I hope that gives you an idea of how you're supposed to make a template. And then next thing you're going to want to do is punch some holes. Oh, you know what? Let me go grab that embroidery thread really quick. Hold on. Okay, I have a ton of embroidery thread, so let's pick a nice color. I'm thinking this one. This kind of matches more, but I kind of like the dark. Or this one. Ooh, that's even better. I'm gonna go with that one. Okay. So get whatever kind of thread you're using, embroidery, wax linen thread. I heard what do you call it? Dental floss works really well for this. I haven't tried it, but okay. Now you're gonna want a book is what I use. I use the cover off of this for a different project. So then you put your spine on here like this, and then you're gonna clip this in, which I just have these clips from the dollar store. You want to make sure it's like exactly where you want it. So line everything up. And then clip. You see, so maybe if these aren't exactly equal parts, you'll know this is the top. Then all you want to do is poke your holes. Right where the lines intersect, where those dots are that we made. There we go. And then I usually poke them through, and I always do it from this side in, the outside in, because if you do it the other way, I don't know if you can see, but they get kind of raised up, and you don't want that to be on the side that's showing. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but then I just go back to these holes and stick this all the way through so you kind of have a bigger hole. I know you can't really see on camera, but you'll be able to see it when you do them. Just stick this all the way through, and then you can see the holes better, and it'll just be easier when we're sewing it in. Okay, there we go. So we have all our holes. I don't know if you can see them, but they're there. So that's all we need to do on the cover. Now, I usually poke the holes for the signatures one at a time, because otherwise I find it just gets kind of hard, and they might move around or shift or something, and then it's hard to get through. So first thing you're going to want to do is, I start from the last signature and go back to front. I don't know if it matters, but I just think it's easier that way. You're going to want to flip through and make sure everything is lined up properly the way you want it. Like, is this doily where I want it? Is this where I want it? Maybe I want to move this down a little bit, you know. Because once we poke these holes, it's kind of set in stone. That's where everything's going. So just do it once through. Make sure nothing's upside down, because I've definitely done that. Sewn things in upside down. And then you have to undo the whole thing, and it sucks. So we're just going to go through, make sure everything's how we want it. Okay, perfect. And then once it's all how you want it, you want to make sure you're pressing down into this groove to make sure it's as together as it can be. And then I clip it, one at the bottom and one at the top. That way they're not going anywhere, they're not moving around. You don't have to do that. This whole thing is just how I do things, like I said before. So then you're going to open your book and use it as a book cradle, because I don't have one. I'm sure lots of people don't. But, first thing I'm going to do is cut my thread. And what people generally say is you do 3 times the length. So that's 3. Do a little extra for good measure. And then I'm gonna thread this through the needle. I use a pretty thick needle. It's just easier to get the thread through and everything. And then we're gonna tie this off. And then I'll set this back in here for later, but now it's ready. Let me clean up. What am I doing? Okay. Now what we're gonna do is, you don't have to do, you can use the same middle, to poke all your holes, but I feel like it lines up a little better if you fold on these lines that you made as well, and then use them for the signature that you're actually using. So right now we're doing the last one, so I'm going to use these holes to punch these holes, if that makes sense. So you hold it like this. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that. It's just going to be easier if we use the middle one for all of them. But make sure top is top. That's what's really important. So you put this right in like this. I feel like one of these papers is not where it should be. Okay, I feel better about that. I will say the thing about these clips is that they kind of dent the paper a little bit, but I'm not worried about that. But if you are, maybe use paper clips or something like that. It might be a little gentler. Okay, so you're gonna put this in, and again, make sure it's like as deep in there as it can go. Make sure that it's completely lined up with your paper on both sides. Make sure the top is the top, and then hold it in here, and then we're gonna stab all the way through all three. Take this out, and then again, I like to just stick this through to make the hole a little bit easier to find. And it's harder because we used a lot of pages and they're kind of thick. So just be patient with it. Okay, then we can move this out of the way. We can move this out of the way. And then, oh, we're doing buttons. So let's pick those out real quick. I probably should have done that first, but I've said it before. I don't ever have any forethought when I'm doing these things. So usually each signature, I'll use about 6 buttons per signature. So let's pick out some. I don't have that crazy of a button collection. Some people probably have a lot better ones, but I'm probably going to just speed up this process, so. Okay, so we picked out some buttons that we like, and then what we're gonna do is line them up. So I'll speed through this part too, but you want about 6 buttons times 3. You'll see. Okay. Okay, something kind of like this. I mean, this isn't maybe the best ever. Maybe I'll switch out. There we go. I don't know. Do whatever you feel is right, and then we don't need the rest, so. I will say one thing to keep in mind, though, with the buttons is, don't put too many, like, big, chunky ones next to each other, because then they won't fit. Also keep in mind, like, how close together the lines are that you made, because, I mean, you don't want buttons, like, bumping into each other. And also, you don't want to put too many on, like, you don't have to do 6, you can do more or less if you want, but, the more you put, the, tighter together they'll be, and it might look kind of, like, clunky and not that good, so just keep that stuff in mind. That's why I do it this way. I'm gonna just put these to the side. Can you still see them? Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna put these over here for now. Keep them lined up how I like them. Okay, now we're gonna sew the thing in, finally. So we'll take our cover and the signature we poked holes in, and we'll take our needle that's already been threaded. And I like to start from the inside, because that's gonna leave us the strings on the inside. If you want the strings on the outside and maybe do some bows or something like that, then you start from the outside, but I like them on the inside. So you go through the middle, and you're gonna want to leave a tail like this. You can put it like I've seen people like tie a paper clip to the end of this to make sure you don't lose it, but I don't find that necessary. Or you could like washi tape it down, but it's fine. So then you go through, we're going in the last, make sure you're in the right row, so we're doing last. We go through the middle, and then out. And you don't have to pull it super tight right now. You just kind of leave it loose. And then we're gonna have to do our buttons. So what you're gonna wanna do is, you can go up or down, doesn't matter. I usually go down first. So we're gonna take, I don't know how to explain this. This is gonna be first, and then this will be at the bottom, right? So we're gonna take the middle of the the second half middle button. Okay, and we'll thread through the back of the button first. Oh dear, this needle is too big. Why do I always make things complicated for myself? Okay, hold on one second. Cut this off. I'm gonna get a little bit of a smaller needle. Okay, I got a much smaller needle. You don't have to do that if you're more comfortable using a bigger needle. Oops, I missed one. What you can do is just not tie it on, and then you can unthread it to thread your buttons through, but I feel like this is just going to be easier for me to show you. Anyway, so we go through the back of the button, and then over through the top of the button. You don't want it tangled up like that. It'll just be on like this. Pull it through, and then we'll go to the second to last button from the middle. Same thing, go through the middle, go through the other side. Oops. Okay. Pull that on there. And then last one, go through the back. Go through the front. There you go. And it doesn't really matter what they look like right now, because we will move those around later. So then we're going to go through the bottom hole. And then we're going to go through the bottom hole. go. Oh, pulled this through. Of course, when I'm trying to do a tutorial, I mess everything up. If this happens, I guess this is a good learning opportunity. If this happens to you, all you have to do is re-thread the needle through this string that fell out and go through the middle again. And then if you lose it, where did I lose this? There you go. Okay. Get out of there. Now we'll go back to where we were. Sorry, this is probably confusing. I'll show you another one too. Maybe we'll just do the whole thing together. There we go. Then you're going to go all the way across to the top loop. Pull that through. Then you're going to go through the top loop. Make sure you're on the right line. And I'm going to just tighten this up a little bit. There we go. Just to give ourselves a little bit more working room. Again, I'm worse at showing stuff on camera than making it look harder than it actually is. Okay, so then you're going from the top down, so you want to take the top button, thread through the back, through the front, then the second top button, through the back, through the front. But you know what? If you make it all the way through this without making any mistakes, then kudos to you, because I've never done that. Pretty much always make mistakes. But it's okay. It's all part of the process. Okay? We're back. Make sure one thread's on this side and one thread's on the other side. Now we're going to adjust our buttons. They don't have to be exactly where we want them to be yet. Just put them all in the middle. That way we can pull tight. And the buttons aren't. If they start getting close to one of the holes, you need to move them back. Okay? Just like this. Once it's tight, you make sure it's all tight. Unclip. You're gonna make sure all the pages are connected and there aren't any loose, because I've done that before too. And after you tie it off, it's all like a whole ordeal. Okay, they look good. So then you just pull it tight, tie it, and then left over right, then right over the left. It's a square knot, and then you can tie it in a little bow if you want. There you go. And you're probably going to need to like train the pages to stay down where they go, but that's one signature sewed in and it looks pretty good. And like you can still move the buttons around. I like to do that last because it depends where the rest of the buttons go. So let's sew in the rest, and I'm probably not going to talk through this, and maybe I'll fast forward a little bit. So if you get the gist, you get the gist, but you can always slow it down if you need to see it slower or whatever. I'm just going to do this without talking, and I'm going to sit down and actually focus, so maybe I can do it a little bit better in this example. So Now we're doing the middle signature. Okay, so there we go. We did the second one. Now we just have to do the third one. And this one I'm definitely going to speed up if I didn't speed that one up, so. I will say, if you want to like lay this book down and write in it, I wouldn't use buttons that are like this, that like bulk out like this. But I just think it looks pretty, so I'm gonna use it. And there we are. So you want them to be tight, like as tight as you can get it without ripping the pages. You don't want it to be too tight where you're tearing stuff. Alright, and there you have it. We're all bound together. Nothing's falling out. And then you can go ahead and adjust the buttons however you would like. There you go. Cute little button spine. All signatures are sewn in. You know? Now, the very last thing that we can do, because this is done. Let me clean up a little for a second. Okay, so the very last thing that I like to do is add some charms. So I like to add charms to the tabs that we put in, and also to these middle signatures. So let's go ahead and pick out some charms. I got this huge lot of them for really cheap from Amazon. So if you're looking for charms, that's where I get them. Okay, so I picked out some charms that I like for, some of them are just perfect, like this is a little stagecoach, here's a little pumpkin, this is a little slipper. It's not really the right color, but I just picked out some random ones that I like, and then I think I'll probably use about 12. I think 12. So also you're gonna need these ball pins. Now usually I just use gold because that's what matches, but what if, no, we'll just use gold for this one. So I'll need 6 of these. Again, I got this huge pack off of Amazon for pretty cheap. So then, the first things I'm gonna do is these center ones, which I probably should double knot these bows. There you go. And then we're gonna pick what we like on here, which I think this little strawberry and this flower. And then we just tie them on. And you set it to like what kind of length you would like, and then tie. So you probably can't see because my fingers are in the way, but I'm just tying this on. So, and then after that, you can cut off the excess. There we go. Maybe we'll make this one a little longer. So just have fun with this. I mean, this is obviously an extra step that you don't have to do, but I mean, why would you not want to? It's so cute. So double knot this. There we go. And then I'm gonna obviously do this pumpkin charm on this one. else? Maybe we'll do... let's do the little music note. So there's that one. And then we'll just do the same thing for this one. Now obviously this part is just extra, you don't have to do it. I think I already said that, but you can make these as long and or as short as you want to, so you can make them really long and hang out the bottom if you want to. I've done that before and it looks really cute, so. And maybe I'll do a little bow. Okay, that's done. So that could be it if you want. But then I like to put them on the little tabs. So there's 6 tabs, I believe, in each signature that has tabs. The middle one doesn't have any. So you can pick, I do 3 in each section, so. I'm probably gonna put this one here. So all you do is just, if you have some jump rings, you can put them on that too, but I've tried that before. I don't really think it makes a difference, so. Stick it on there like this. There you go. And then I'll probably skip this one and do this one. Let's see. Maybe we'll do this little, and you can do it on either side of the page, so. Because she's locked up there, and then we'll do, skip this one, and do this one. So I think we'll do the little glass slipper on here. Beautiful. And then we'll skip to the 3rd signature. And we'll put one here. Which maybe I should have done the glass slipper for this one. But that's okay. We're going to use this diamond key. It doesn't really matter what you do. You can just play around with it, do whatever you want. I'm just giving you examples. This part's totally unnecessary, but it's just another texture, you know. Junk journals are all about the texture, so. The glass slipper would have been good for this one too, see? But is what it is. And then we'll skip this one. Oh, that's a big key, see? We're gonna just put, should I do a crown or love? Let's do love. There we go. They're in love at the end. Put these away. And there you have it, folks. That's it. That's how you make a little golden book junk journal the way that I do it. We did this today. I'll do a little quick flip through. This is everything. We did everything together. So if you missed any of the rest of them, make sure you check those out if you're interested. And give me a thumbs up. Give me a subscribe if you found any information here that was helpful to you. I'm trying to grow my channel, and I am hoping to be putting out more videos. This one took a lot of time just because, I don't know why. It just took me a long time to finish this project, but hopefully I'll be putting out more videos soon, and I'll make some more tutorials about different kinds of covers that I've made, and maybe I'll do some like organizational tips. I think that's what I'm going to do next, because I'd like to do just like a quick video that I don't have to edit that much. So stay tuned, there's a lot more to come, and maybe I'll do a real flip through of this journal. If you want to see that, let me know. And obviously from here you can fill all these pockets and do the embellishment and stuff. This is just like the bare bones of a journal, but I personally, I'm not really good at making like ephemera and stuff to put in pockets. I just like making the journals and then giving them to someone and you can do whatever you want with it type of thing. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this, and let me know if you did, and thank you so much for being here. Have a good one. Bye bye.